Just barely have I done dumber things. I will tell you what, man. This fucking shot with... I mean, dude. My microphone. Sunglasses. Kid is just... I legitimately feel like I barely fished. That was completely fucking exhausting. And action. I was going to do something boring and not cool. And then I thought I should do something exciting and cool. And honestly, that's more a reflection of who I am. Really cool and not boring. Do you like big fucking striped bass? And catching trout in the face? Do you like tiny dry flies? Wait. I'm gonna restart that. Cut that last part out. Do you like big fucking striped bass? And sticking browns in the face? Do you like tiny trout on dry flies? With the chance of a pig? Shit. All right, I'm gonna get there. I'll get there. I said, relax. I'll get there. Sheesh. Everyone is out here. Everyone's always asking me, Ellis, how do you keep your hands so smooth? I say, well, it's simple. My mom I just employed this. She probably doesn't even remember this. Fucking 36 years old. Could have been Lamont. There was some, I'm guessing, drunk mechanic that used to live down the road from her as a kid. And this is what happens, parents. Just be aware. She told me that he used to have dirt under his fingernails, and the way that he would clean his fingernails was to scrub shampoo into his hair. So he would basically use his hair like a shop cloth, microfiber towel. I did just do that. I think I probably still have. Don't worry about it, dude. Which could not be less of a thing. Just a skill set that I have. out in the driveway, put new brake pads on, the rear and the front. I don't have a hydraulic jack. I just have the shitty, little basically wind up toy that comes with the car for changing a spare tire. I don't like that. And when I did the front ones, this will be no surprise to any of you who have worked on vehicles. There's a lot of weight in the engine, and so, um, you know, I think there was like a gust of wind or something. I wasn't going under the car, so just everyone relax. I wasn't going to die. I'm not stupid. I realized that I didn't have all the kit and the caboodle were not all present. And yeah, went back out there after I think coming inside to get my phone, or I ended up getting distracted doing some other shit for a little bit. No, that's not true. What happened? No, that is true. Uh, what was I saying? So I walked back out there and just car has fallen over. And then sure enough, while I was taking the other side off, got that side done, went to the other side and was taking the other one off, and it just started tipping, and I got out of the way. Surprisingly, it tipped. It's not like it slipped, and like as it tipped from the shitty little jack, it was kind of already touching the rotor, and given that there are springs and what have you, it was a pretty anticlimactic. Give me some rabbit. Pretty anticlimactic little event there. This is an Arex. Size 1. Let's just make sure we're... TP6. Wait, Arex size 2. TP610. And we're going big. Okay? And I'm home. We're going big and I'm already home. Yeah, I was thinking of doing something, honestly. Well, I'm not going to say honestly because I feel like. Go listen to this most recent fishing report on the articulate fly. As much as I'm going to end up talking, I just. Part of me doesn't feel like talking. And at least about this shit, it's just like, guys, come on. I want to go fishing, okay? And really, not a joke here. I want to go fishing with you. So book your trips. Watch ahead. Put your tips down. Put your tips down. Watch your tips. Tip down. Thank you. Yeah, it's just that when we're going under trees and, just a little tip down. Yeah, so I was going to do something that was a little lower in the water column type deal. Thinking kind of a loaf with a fish skull head, craft fur. But I mean, it's just boring. It's boring to tie. I wouldn't say boring to fish. What I had in mind was sort of I don't know, bucktail, almost like a hybrid, hollow. like a Buford, marabou palmered under bucktail, and that bucktail get nice and spready outy, breathes, kind of pulls up the marabou. And then I like the idea of that marabou adding some opacity, so kind of like the loaf where it's castable with water weight because of the craft fur, but puts out a big profile and all that stuff, but doing one with the fish skull head. So I'll end up doing that probably pretty soon, since it has been on my brain, or in my brain, or maybe, I don't really know how ideas work in terms of like where they rest. Maybe it has been on my brain. Mallard mallard flank. We're gonna go. I wouldn't mind if they were a little longer, but I'm okay with just getting past that connection point. I am going to do a slightly longer one on the other side. When you get to the longer ones, you end up getting a little more. They got a little more ass to them, and I'm not really trying to put huge feathers back here. But I would like them kind of back to that thick part of the feather. Does it make a difference? I stopped asking that question and just started trusting my gut. And it's not, well, all right, here we go. Here's the old confidence thing. If I tie a fly with exacting, we'll just say exacting confidence. So I'm not going to say I'm right. I'm not going to say it's the answer, but I feel good about it. I think it's the business, possibly the answer. It's going to get fished harder. It's going to get fished harder by me. It's going to get fished harder by clients. And then it catches fish, and then we're off and running. We're off and running on the whole confidence thing. Oh, sugar. My UV Cure Flex is out in my boat box. Iteration number, I don't even know. Hold, please. And I'm back. It is nice, with the given of I will have shit everywhere. It's nice to know where the things are. So this back hook tends to be the money maker. They eat it in the middle, and oftentimes don't touch that. They hit the bend of that front hook. They eat it in the middle, and that back hook is on the inside of their jaw. 70 plus, 80, 90% of the time. Probably closer to 90. Sometimes you'll get this one on the outside of their face and then the other one on the inside. Like it is a pretty much picture perfect little T-bone. We got lawnmowers. What day is it? The apartment complex, a couple yards away, tends to do alcohol. Son of a bitch. Oh, we're back with alcohol. I'm in the process of moving, so my shit everywhere-ness is a little more pronounced. Everyone's after me Lucky Charms today. Bending out that shank just a little bit to make my life easier. Trying to fit that shaft into the hole. There you go. Center up the video as well. And focus check. This is going to be for brown trout and striped bass on the tailwaters of the South Holston, the South Fork of the Holston River, and the Watauga River, and it's a fishing fly. If anyone's wondering where the titles and all that is coming from, if you tie and you post stuff on Instagram and you like start getting people's attention, I don't mean anyone important. I just mean like you guys, for example. That's a funny joke and probably true. Some of you likely aren't important. At least not to me. I'll never see you. I'll never hear from you. You just, well, I guess if you're watching it, you're important. Spread the word. Like and subscribe. Tell friends. Yeah, but the important ones, you're getting on my boat. Never mind. You're all important. Everyone's special. And yeah, you end up getting pretty quickly, hello, good sir. It is my accommodations to meet you, dear esteemed, period. I am Ezra, and I run a top end fly fishing fly production design company, and we distribute and tie the top quality flies for fishing, for fly fishing. If you are interested in 1 dozen or more fishing flies, we are able to accommodate all orders. Are you interested, good sir? Kindly regarding, and we wish you success in all future endeavors. I look forward to hearing with you, and your esteem is acknowledged, comma, greetings from Esfra, comma, we look forward to your prestigious reply. Period. Enter, enter, enter. Graciously, Esfra. And it's like, holy shit. This is all, it's one paragraph. It's hard to call that a paragraph. It's one unbroken line of text. It's one unbroken series of letters next to each other with spaces in between. I guess they'd be words. If you look at, like, contextually, certain letters being where they should be and words being associated with other words, this doesn't match. And it's not AI. AI does a way better job of making up sentences. And it's also not a scam. I mean, honestly, part of me feels bad for making fun of their English. Because, I mean, it's folks tying flies by hand in Nairobi. And I mean, can't knock the hustle, you know? I Yeah, I guess I'm gonna feel guilty saying this because I don't know what their situation is, but they should use ChatGPT for those emails. It's just tough. It's so. I mean, even for the format, just like ChatGPT, make this look like a vaguely professional email. It looks like way more of a scam than most scams do now. I've been getting a bunch of PayPal scams, which look like someone telling me that I should have just received a $14,095.01 deposit. I mean, it is the closest thing to I have a family member who was related to a prince in Kenya, and on The Last Heir, it's just a random name telling me that I kind of want to do some UV flash just to give it a little Komoseyama. That's not right. But yeah, I mean, it's just that one is pretty constant. And oh, here's a good one. I put a little Instagram video up. Some of you may have seen it. It's honestly like nothing special. It's not remarkable. It was just me fishing. It's like one of some of those. And if you watch any of the YouTube videos, you've seen clips. It's just I just tagged Crocs because I'm wearing my Crocs, and I got an email later on. I don't know, maybe that evening, and it was like, "Dear esteemed," like guys, you gotta follow up with something. It's just not. I get I get the direction you're going with there, but you need to follow up after you say esteemed. Say something else. You can't just say esteemed. But it was for a brand ambassador position, and they were going to pay me. This was one of the first tips. When were you tipped off, Ellis? Well, outside of the first sentence saying "Dear esteemed" and the fact that I was getting an email, from Croc's affiliate manager, and so we're already there. And then, what was the real giveaway? Well, I'll tell you. When I really found out, when I really started suspecting it was a scam, I was going to get $20,000 for posting 4 to 5 times a month involving Crocs. And now, for any of you that know a little bit of my history, one, yeah, I like $20,000. Now, one, the off brand or the off industry. I can't go into this one. I've been tagging Sweet Baby Ray's for like the last, I don't know, years or so. And I want to be like, I tag my reels, posts, everything on Instagram. Like everything. It's Renzetti, Hedron Flashaboo, Hairline, Arex, Hamagatsu, Scientific Anglers, Rio, Scott Fly Rods, Wolf Rod Co., TFO, and Sweet Baby Ray's Barbecue. I'll occasionally throw in a Cholula or something like that, sort of mix things up. But there is part of me that thinks it would be cool and also pretty funny if... I think what I'm envisioning is like a NASCAR, like the Tide car, except my boat that would have like the Sweet Baby Rays. And I mean, I would say it's a pretty sweet deal. Pretty sweet deal for them, because I'm not even really going to ask for much. It just is like basically free advertising. They kind of have to be okay with, I mean, what's the hitching their name to me for a little bit? I mean, it's not like there's nothing to lose. It's just advertising. My boat is seen by lots of people. I don't know, over the course of a year. Like, all the goobers hanging out on the other guys' boats on the upper South Holston, just pounding lead into the bottom of the river and wishing their day were over when it just started. Yeah, they're going to be seeing me go by. Folks casting dry flies, chucking streamers, looking at each other like, man, this is so awesome and fun. And then me sitting there in the middle smiling, thinking, oh, this is so cool. And then on the side of the boat, Ellis Ward Guide Service, Sweet Baby Ray's, little emblems on both sides of the logo. And then at lunch, I don't really stop. I don't really do the shore lunch thing, but I'm also not going to say that I'm going to sell out, okay? I'm not going to change what I'm doing for money, but I will change what I'm doing for money. And that would look like having a little collapsible grill that I could pop off in the back seat, which I don't even use the seats. I take them bitches off because your line gets, when you're fishing. I had this guy roll by my boat. I don't think he knew me. I don't think he knew it was me, and was kind of giving the boat shit, or like giving me shit, again, not knowing it was me, to the client who was sitting down on the ground, like on the floor in the back seat, saying like, you don't even have a seat back there? And continued shout outs to Brian. He's always part of these stories. My boy Brian was back there. He goes, no, it gets in the way of fishing. And then it was like at that point that the like backhandedly polite, it gets in the way of fishing. And then I think the guy saw me. It's like, oh shit, oopsies. Not that I'm like, yeah, I just don't think that we have a good relationship. That's all I'm saying. So I pop a grill in the back seat there and get that sucker smoking. Dude, I put up one of those party tents like you see at an some outdoor show venue. Sweet Baby Ray's flags flying all over the place. I mean, I would work with a couple of the nearby like riverside property owners to, the night before, ensure that a cooler was out there stocked with Modelo's or Tecate, and obviously Diet Mountain Dew, maybe some fun stuff like Capri Sun or Zima. And dude, it would just be us three sitting there. Probably no one's even like eating or anything. Probably we don't even get out of the boat. We're just like sitting on the boat on the bank, and I'd take some pictures with my phone, and the guys wouldn't even drop their rods, and we would be fishing again. But man, that setup would be fucking sweet. I would do that for sure. And dude, it would be there all day for a bunch of these guys have money. They don't know what they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing. They don't know which guide boat they're on. They don't know the name of their guide. They barely know the name of the river. And they're going to spend money on something. And a lot of them are staying in like cabins and, things of that nature for multiple days. And so what the fuck do you think they're going to get that evening after they were on the river? It's hot. They're hungry. Their guide forgot their sandwiches. And then they see this party tent with no one there. Meats smoking. And Sweet Baby Ray's I mean, it looks like when you walk into a Walmart or, a Kroger or fucking Publix, Piggly Wiggly, Food City, Food Lion, or as my friend Morgan calls it, the Shitty Kitty. Meyer, IGA, probably not IGA. That they're not going with this type of marketing, but they have, they have those tower shit when it's Super Bowl season. They make like a recliner with a person out of Bud Light cases, and like that's what it would look like on the bank, except for Sweet Baby Ray's and Tecate, I think, or Modelo. I'm not sure which. Diet Mountain Dew, I feel like I'm not sure if we're ever going to have the relationship that I want. And that's fine. I'm pretty cool with keeping it how it is. It's it's better than hoping for something that might be there and just it continues to not be. So I'd rather have the relationship with maybe not the perfect match, but it's really good and it's supportive on both ends, than to sit there and pine after Diet Mountain Dew when it is just not happening. So yeah, I would definitely sell out for that. I mean, me selling out would probably look like getting some amount of sponsorship money and spending it all to have like the dopest setup on this riverbank. Now, here's a little fun tip. Plastic beads. I just take my pointed scissors, stick them in the hole, and then just twist it a couple times so that the wire goes through nice and clean. The little things. Yeah, I would just spend thousands of dollars to set this super dope tent up that would remain unused. So, right, they have everything to gain and nothing to lose. And I'm not sure when I will approach them. I don't even know if I will. But I chickened out last time. Not really. I have ongoing lazy free Ellis from Lazy Boy. They ended up blocking me. I think they thought, I don't know what they thought, but all right, we may as well just get into it. We got some fly left. I was going down the same path, right, with Lazy Boy, because I thought it would be funny. I watched basketball a lot growing up and like last year, and it is such a stupid. I mean, the whole movie, front to back, is so stupid. And I don't know, it's definitely some sick humor stuff from me, but if you're unaware, for the uninitiated, the Trey Parker and Matt Stone are the creators of South Park, and they were the creators and lead actors in basketball. And just these really really stupid things. I mean, they're in the They're in the locker room. The premise of it is just in and of itself is dumb. Um, but they make it so funny in a way that acknowledges how stupid it is, but is also at the same time still funny. And yeah, they're in the locker room, and this girl that they're both after comes in, and they're like caught off guard, and they turn around, and it just sort of pans to the girl and is showing their naked butts. So that's the view that they're going to after it's just Reem and Coop. Wait, Coop and holy shit, I'm having a brain fart. Coop and Reamer, I think. And as the one guy's turning around, there's like a legitimate 6 foot cock that is just for a like a frame or maybe 2 frames. It just swings, and then it's just their butts, and you can barely tell that it even happened. And then it pans to her, and she's like, "Oh." But that couldn't have been. There was nothing. There was no reference to that ever about one of them being well endowed or it being a thing. It was not part of the story at all, and they just forced it in, and it was so fucking funny. So the original basketball was made out of Coop's Lazy Boy when they were creating the sport. And I thought it would be cool since I have a Lazy Boy, I'm sitting on it. Free advertising. To cop a Lazy Boy sponsorship. And so, same principle. This is like 4 years ago. Same principle. Just tagging them. I wanted to be like, after a year or so, I was gaining followers, starting my guiding stuff. I thought it would be cool to approach them with some ideas about maybe some tying chairs and things of that nature. And I mean, if nothing else, a lot of folks tying flies, watching videos, you're looking for a chair. You're looking for a nice tying chair. And Lazy Boy makes the best with adjustable elbow rests so that you can have one up. And, I got ideas. And then all of a sudden, one day, I went to tag them in a post, and I couldn't tag them. And I went to my personal account, and I found that I couldn't look them up. It's the first time I had ever been blocked by anyone. Couldn't find them, couldn't look them up, emailed the marketing woman, and just crickets. So cutting that bottom off because I want this thing riding. I want this thing keeling up and down. And all this stuff, I do this, I know I talk about this every time I'm wrapping shit around close to the hook bend, but certainly with the game changers, if your fly is getting spinny even when you have a big hook gap, it's probably because your material is wrapping around that hook and it's creating sort of a rudder that you're not meaning for that rudder to be there. We're going to do some more chenille. So with all that in mind, Crocs had found the right person. They had found someone who is into this off-brand sponsorship, affiliation, whatever. Um, in fly fishing, but not fly fishing, and not even outdoors, just like tangentially related. And so I knowing it was a scam, I still humored, which I will do. I do that on my cell phone. I got one saying, "Is this Ellie?" And which just statistically, I get, "Hey, this is Alan. Is this Conrad's number?" I'm like, I don't know. My number's just out there. It's on Google. It's fucking everywhere, and so I get a lot of this shit. Um, but this one, Ellie was. I mean, just statistically, like, I don't know why they wouldn't. They're getting my phone number. Why wouldn't they just go with Ellis? Is this Ellie? And then sent me a selfie of it. Looks like the same selfie I've gotten of some sort of nondescript Asian girl between, I don't know, 14 and 30. That's not racist. And I said that, what are you, is this Ellie? I said, um, this is Ellie, spelled differently. And she replied, "How are you?" And that's when she sent the selfie. And I said, "I'm not good. I'm dying." And then she sent another selfie and said, "How are you, Ellie?" And I replied with, "This is Ellie's." I didn't know if this person thought they were scamming a dude or a chick, given Ellie. So again, just use ChatGPT, scammers. So I said, "This is Ellie's non binary partner." And Ellie just died. I did not get a reply to that. I should have followed up. One time I did try to follow up, and I think whoever was in that Lithuanian troll farm came back at me because they were asking if I could meet them for something or another. And I was like, "Yeah, for sure." I'm like, "Oh, you want to go to dinner?" Or I don't know. And so I would like kind of lead them on, being like, "Yeah, when, where, what time?" And like, "Yes, that sounds great." Um, it was nowhere near like reality. They weren't talking about a restaurant or actual times, and I was just more or less saying like, "Look, that's not going to work for me. The only time I can meet for dinner is at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I understand that that is challenging. I also understand it's kind of selfish. So, if if you don't feel like continuing this relationship, that's fine." And they were like, "This is so insensitive. I have a doctor's appointment I need to be able to get to by X, Y, and Z." It's like, dude, what the fuck world am I in? That was long enough ago to where I feel confident that was a human being. Definitely making stuff up, but it wasn't like, I don't know, could have been AI, but the AI scams were not as pervasive. Right, so I'm stringing Crocs along. Crocs, the brand ambassador. I was like, "Yeah, I'm interested. Please contact me with a phone call because there are a lot of scams, and I'd like to speak to a human being. And I mean, some of these emails, I'll put some of these up. Actually, they're too good. The esteemed. So there was the $20,000. That was a giveaway. Language, and then all I had to do was just click this link. Oh, I forgot. I replied to them after they sent me that stupid fucking link. Because it's just so shameless, and there's the only way that they're getting people is if those people are just, not to be disparaging if you have fallen victim to whatever this is, a fourth grader trying to steal money from you, but you have to be an idiot. And you have to be an idiot, I think, in a couple different ways, not just once. It's like consistency. Um, but I don't know. That also bothered me because it's like this person, these people are clearly approaching. Uh, I would say I was gonna say hardworking, but I don't know if that's true. It could just be like, well, now I'm walking back on it. Maybe they're approaching these kind of Instagram um, influencer type wannabes who are just greedy for, finally making it uh, after really not doing much. Anyways, the within the email, it was like they were very impressed by my page and something something, and then like referenced beauty products multiple times. Just like, yeah, dude, you're. But it's got to work. It absolutely works. And God, that is just. I mean, part of it is infuriating that they're preying on such dullards. And then the other part that's infuriating is that people are that stupid. Which I think, not being condescending about this, it's just that this is certainly some narcissism, right? And some entitlement, because it is so apparent to me what this is. It is really hard for me to believe because it's not in my experience. It's really hard for me to believe a perspective. Like, it's hard for me to envision someone just logging on their email and being like, oh, this is it, finally. And then going through like one or two emails and being like, get the link to you know, the HTML code to inject into your computer or whatever. And it's like, yes, finally, after I download this software and bypass all of my computer's antivirus software for some definitely legitimate reason, I will be making loot. I really just, I have a hard time envisioning what that looks like. That's all I'm saying. We got Flash everywhere. I am glad I did this one because I was considering something so much lamer. The real reason I'm glad that I'm doing this one is because it is a gap in my box. I have one or two I'm happy with big swim flies that aren't changers. And one of the reasons I like the swim bug in size lariat is that this one might be King Ranch, is that it's so castable and it rides pretty high in the water column um, and moves really, really well. And that combination of things is just not found in other flies. There's generally a drawback, a significant drawback somewhere along the way. All right. I officially need Jack to stop forgetting to give me my goddamn lure. My mallard. It's not mine, and he's not forgetting. It's his. He's giving it to me. And I just don't. I don't go over there to get it. He lives 10 minutes away. And it is without question my fault, but sure is nice to blame others for our problems when we can. Because we can't always. Well, that's not true. Some of you do. I certainly know people that blame others for their problems on a very regular basis, and those people are not happy. Because the thing is, with always blaming your problems on someone else, well, here's a free lesson. That's not the case. It isn't the case. It is never the case. And I know we don't like absolutes, but it's just never the case. It's on you almost all of the time if you're encountering some difficulty. I'm not going to tell you exactly how it's on you, but it is. And it's a shitty thing. It's a shitty pill to swallow. Why am I in bad relationships? Well, I'm bad at setting boundaries, and I don't have enough respect for myself to draw the line when I should. So, of course, another relationship is not going to end up well. But yeah, fuck Jack. Give me my damn mallard. No, I'm running out of the real, what they call the steamers down at the docks. What the guys, I think this is after the 90s gum. They're calling it juicy fruit. I didn't know if that was some type of homophobic slur, but I think it's just like everything. You get something like a name or something sticks, and you say like, "Oh God, these mallard feathers are juicy," and then before you know it, those dudes down at the docks are calling everything good juicy fruit. And it's like, what have we done? This chartreuse, though, is hearkening of juicy fruit. I would say that of the amount of time I spend not really affixing stuff to other things, like actually tying, a massive portion of that is spent just picking picking through mallard to get the right ones. That lard. I think what I'm doing there is like a Medea's, and I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen any of those. Tyler Perry's Medea goes to the whatever. But I do believe his character would say, "Oh my lord." And Mallard, here we are. I'm mostly sniffly because of a cold that I'm now over. I had high hopes of continuing a streak of some regular videos, but god damn, I got my ass kicked last week. And I was so fucked up that until yesterday, not really wanting to go to the doctor. Not that I dislike it, it's just, you're sick, okay. I mean, unless it's like a really bad bacterial 3, 4, 5 days just hacking up all colors of the rainbow. It's like, yeah, well, what are you gonna tell me? Okay, rest, hydrate, right? So I'm on like day 5, and my ears are ringing. Like, I've never experienced this before. I've been sick before. I had ear infections as a kid. I had never experienced this super high pitched and just getting worse and worse, and it felt like my ears were full, and went in there and, oh hey sweetheart, which, by the way, like, what am I supposed to do with that? You know? Hey toots. Oh hey sweetheart. Hey there toots. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that is not okay. Hey there, sweetheart. What's up, sugar? Oh, hey, honey. How you doing? Well, a little better now that you walked into my life. Can you peer into my ear canal and see if I'm dying? Thank you, dear. Hey there, sweet. Hey, sugar. No, she didn't say sugar. Hey, sweetheart. There were a couple. That was weird with the nurse doing that. I got it from the gas station attendant this morning, but yeah. So no infection. It is probably allergies, and I felt pretty stupid. She's like, have you been taken anything? I'm like, yeah, you know. But the day before, I had kind of stopped taking nose spray because it felt like I was in that cyclical, you just can't breathe without it anymore. And so she's like, yeah, you know, Flonase is a corticosteroid. I always recommend that for this type of thing. Do you want a shot do you want an injection of steroids? And I was like drooling before she even finished to say yes. I was so fucking dizzy. Like, if I had my eyes open, I had 3 trips in a row. The prior 3 days, like, I was fucked up. And it was weird because my body, I mean, I wasn't sick. I didn't have a viral infection. Like, everything felt okay except for when I got off the water and my eyes were open. I felt fucking very weird. So she penetrated me from behind, gave me a little love tap on the rear. I think that's the medical terminology. It was in like my upper hip. I'm being gross. And I was flying, dude. High as balls. That's not true. Also not true. But I did. My ears stopped ringing like 3 hours later. And that is relative to where I was, like, as high as it gets. I mean, I was miserable. Oh my God. And then this morning, I actually felt, it's almost like a temperature change. I felt my right ear pop. And it just, it's like the inside of my head got cold. So it's been up and up. Do steroids. I mean, I don't know why. It's interesting. I was actually thinking of if I could find someone who takes prednisone regularly. I had a doctor on my boat who wrote himself scripts. We're going to do some stacking. That's going to sit on the bottom. Wrote himself scripts of prednisone. His wrist would get really sore. And he was just saying that, I mean, he's 70s, like, yeah, taking it every once in a while. Everything works better. That, little testosterone. Dude, my wrist could be inflamed, and I could be miserable, and it just would not get better. Or I could take a little bit of prednisone and a little bit of testosterone, and I would be a new man for days and days. I was like, well, we got 3 or 4 hours of fishing left, so saddle up, cowboy. Dude stuck some fish. Yeah, so I feel like I should have, that should be in the boat box. Like, if anyone's getting real bitchy, I'll just zap over. I gotta have people start signing waivers if I'm gonna be sneak attacking them with syringes. But look, it's part of the experience. You're not coming here to be bored. I don't think. This is why I didn't want to talk, because I knew that it would be an hour plus in, and I'd be taken for fucking ever, and not even talking about anything. Although I will say that I successfully avoided talking about what I wanted to avoid, which was my thoughts on I don't know about verb, singular, plural, which was the thing I didn't want to talk about was my thoughts around fishing higher in the water column in lower light or off color conditions, with an emphasis on higher opacity. Trigger warning. Having something that blocks light and fishing it higher in the water column versus just swinging a black streamer and taking your foot that is in waders and tying it to a 30-pound anchor and then looking at your friend and giving him a nod, removing the oar, and as you huck the anchor, you hit yourself in the head with the oar really, really hard. And waders on, unconscious, you fill up your waders and sink to the bottom, because that sounds more fun than just swinging a dark fly in muddy water. Just go home. I mean, I would say just nymph, but like, just go home. Why are you doing it? Yeah. I bet you could do a move off the side of the boat where you knock yourself out with the anchor and that the momentum sort of carries you head over heels into the water. I kind of wanted to get some more in here, but that might be it. Just not wanting to go. Take that as a sign to shut up, get to carving, and then get to fishing. He gets quiet with the razor blade. I've damaged my hands enough, pretending I'm knowing what I'm doing with a vehicle. Shit, I mean, I'm at 90,000 miles and I just changed my brake pads. That was a close one. And boy, let me tell you something about the brake pads and how they accumulate particles that lock up the threads. I was just hammering on these, I mean actually hammering on these things. I like to do this to get my general shape. Kind of start with I want it thin back there. Well, I was hammering on them after putting a lot of force on them with my hands, and some of them I had to get the caliper, the piston bolts off with an Allen wrench, and I needed to get a 7mm Allen wrench. I did not have that. So a 7/32 kind of jammed in sufficed. But it did slip, and my fingernail, there's going to be multiple. This poor left pinky fingernail is just in a bad way. Do you like big fucking striper and sticking browns in the face? Do you like tiny trout on drive-bys with the chance of a pig? Do you like catching carp with carpy flies in the lake on a boat? Well, look no further than Ellis. Fuck. There's got to be some easy words that rhyme with boat that make sense there. Dude, I was thinking of the first half of that song in the shower earlier. What I was actually thinking of was I am not into nymphine. I am into cocaine. So neither of those are parts of the actual song. And I don't do drugs anymore. Do you like big fucking striped bass? And catching browns in the face. Do you like tiny trout on dry flies? With the chance of a pig. And it's at this point where I thought it was going to be. Then look no further than Alice. Oh yeah, okay. I think we're going. No, we're not. He likes the same shit as you. That doesn't rhyme. You guys get it. Do you like catching stripes on? Do you? Do you like catching trout on tiny flies? With the chance of a pig? Well, look no further than Ellis. You like the same shit as him. I just gotta get it. Get it with the rest of the song. But, we got time. Or we don't. I might die today. But assuming I don't, pretty sure I won't. I'll work on it. So, all right, tie-in note for the bug. Head-shaped note. The flatter your face is, the more erratic some of your kills can be, which I like to a point. But I kind of like to get those I like to promote um, keeling side to side. And so I'm going to have basically what I want is a reduction of speed of the water all along each lateral line, which is accomplished by having the lowest amount of surface area relative to the rest of the fly occurring on the sides. And so with that in mind, and that's just saying that traveling through an incompressible liquid, this thing will be undergoing different parts of, or will be undergoing different pressure points, not like kung fu, but like each point has these little instantaneous atmospheric or water pressure. And as it's moving, the areas over which the water is traveling the least means that it is slower relative to the areas where it is traveling more or the most. Velocity is just distance over time. Everything happens at the same time, and so distance is the variable that changes and gives us changes in pressure, and that's what keeling on the strip, not incorporating buoyancy, just incorporating shape of the head, the kill and that float and wobble, very much a trait of the drunk that I incorporated from lessons learned from Tommy and his fly. And look no further than Ellis. He likes all that shit too. Alright, I'll see you out there.